He's currently 6 months old and I'm 16 weeks pregnant. My milk supply has dropped. It was just like all over the place and I was like, what just happened? Oh my god, listen to me. Like I'm getting so excited. Hey loves, it's Belinda, Selene, and welcome back to my channel. And today I'm going to share with you guys how I've been feeling this first trimester in my pregnancy, which has been so incredibly different and bizarre because if you guys are just catching up now on my channel, this is my second pregnancy and it was naturally in my first pregnancy we conceived through IVF, and that is how we got our sweet baby boy, our miracle baby, Benjamin, and he's currently 6 months old and I'm 16 weeks pregnant. I will have a whole playlist on our IVF journey down in the description box below if you guys are interested, as well as like the official pregnancy video and all the juicy details and story of how we found out that we were pregnant. And it's actually Ricardo who found out, or who thought that I was for the longest time, and then it turns out that he was right. So he knew before I did, which is insane. As I mentioned, this pregnancy has been so incredibly different and I didn't know that I was pregnant. The only thing that led me to believe in the beginning was that I had a lot of stomach aches. Like I would wake up every single morning and I would have the worst stomach ache, and it was around the time that Benji was going through his 4th month sleep regression, and so I just thought that I was so tired and exhausted because he would literally wake up like after every hour to half an hour. Now we would have to like get up and rock him and put him back to sleep. It was really bad. It was like worse than when he was a newborn, and I don't know how I survived that first like month, and I was actually pregnant with a sleep regression. And so I woke up in the mornings and I felt really sick, and I was like, it's just because I'm not getting enough sleep. I was tired more than usual, but I honestly think it's because I just wasn't sleeping. But there have been many days where in the morning, as soon as Benji wakes up, like once I'm done nursing him, Ricardo will just like take him downstairs and like feed him and play with him, and I'll get a few extra hours of sleep, which has been amazing. And I think that's why nothing was like off to me, except that I would have stomach aches in the morning and then at night, and then I would be like, Ricardo, I'm having another stomach ache, like it's really hard for me to like do things. And it was just a stomach ache. Like I didn't feel nauseous or anything. And the difference between this pregnancy and with Benji is that with Benji I was sick all the time. Like if you guys look back on my first trimester video with Benji, like I was just sick all of the time. I was nauseous, I would throw up, I had to wear like a bracelet to help me with my nausea. I would have like mints and like ginger candy, and I would have like the pochico and like ginger ale crackers, like you name it I had to do, because my nausea and like my vomiting was pretty bad. With this pregnancy, luckily I haven't felt as bad, but I still have a lot of nausea. So I want to say like after 2 months or so, which is around the time that maybe we found out that I was pregnant, that is when the nausea really kicked in, and I only threw up a few times. I gagged a lot and nothing would come out, which was horrible, and I was just like, oh my goodness, I remember how it was, to be pregnant early on, and it's been really hard, not gonna lie. And I remember feeling so nauseous one time that I was brushing my teeth, just like normally brushing my teeth, and then as soon as I went to brush my tongue, like I threw up in the sink, and it just came out kind of like The Exorcist. Like it was just like all over the place, and I was like, what just happened? And then I cried because I just remember that feeling, and I'm like, what's wrong with me? I can't believe this is happening. Like, did I catch like a bug or something? So if you guys are struggling with the same thing during your first trimester and you're pregnant, something that I do highly recommend are these Ritual vitamins, and they are today's sponsor, which I am so proud to be a brand ambassador for them, because I have been taking these since I was pregnant with Benji, which was over a year ago, and I haven't stopped taking them because I'm still breastfeeding. Even when I didn't know that I was pregnant, I was still taking them, and they have been really great. I did a lot of research when I was trying to find the perfect vitamin for prenatals, because everything just made me feel so sick. I always felt nauseated, like after taking the pills I would throw them back up, or they would hurt my stomach, or they would be too thick and I felt like I couldn't swallow them. And then I did a lot of research on which ones to get, and these were always like on the like the top 5 recommendations anywhere that you searched. So I highly recommend them, and it's pretty awesome. I, with my own money, paid for these. I did the subscription and I've been using them ever since. They do send me some occasionally when I work with them, but they are worth every single penny. I highly recommend them because they're just so easy to swallow, first of all, because you take 2 of them instead of taking one big one, so it makes it a lot easier. And it also has a lemon tab, which smells so great, and you don't feel nauseous like taking it. When I was doing my research on what kind of vitamins to get, I wanted to make sure that it had really great ingredients. So this has like no shady additives, no colorants, no dyes, and they are vegan friendly. So if you guys are looking for a vitamin, I highly recommend to check these out. They do have more vitamins on their website besides prenatal, so they do have for men, for women, and also for children. Highly recommend them. I love them, and I'll have a link down below where you guys can find it along with my coupon code so you guys can get a discount, and I absolutely love them. I recommend them. On the bright side of that, I have really been enjoying being a new mom and just like cuddling my baby, and like I feel like I release so much of like the good, what is it, hormones, what is it, oxytocin, or I don't know what it's called, but that feel good hormone of like you like having your baby and just like cuddling them and just enjoying them, that it has helped a lot with my sickness. Even though I felt really nauseous, it has been so much easier than when I was pregnant with Benji in the first trimester, because I could not eat red meat. I could not, literally almost eat nothing, because everything just smelled horrible, and I would cry because I couldn't eat certain foods, I couldn't look at meat, I couldn't make dinner, like it was just really bad. And now the difference is that I want to eat everything. Like that is one of the reasons why Ricardo thought that I was pregnant, because I was just consuming so much food, and I thought it was because I was breastfeeding. I'm like, you know what, I need to make some more calories for my baby, and I'm totally okay with like gaining weight. Now my milk supply has dropped since being pregnant, and that was like another clue that I should have kind of noticed that I was pregnant possibly. But honestly, I didn't know how like breastfeeding and being pregnant worked. Like I didn't think that I was going to be pregnant anytime soon, and my goal was to nurse Benji until he was at least a year old. So around the time that he was like 5 months, I think, is when I started to notice that it started to dip, and I have struggled with a low milk supply since he was born, and I have done everything in my power to like keep it up. I pump, I make sure that I stay hydrated, I eat really good, and I didn't know that that was something that happens, like if you're pregnant and you're breastfeeding, is that there's a possibility of it dipping. It's actually very likely, and it happens especially towards the end of your pregnancy. So I noticed that Benji wouldn't nurse as often, and I noticed that sometimes he didn't want to, and I was just struggling with it so much, and I was like, what's happening? Like I don't understand. So I would try to have him latch on a lot like more often, and he would do shorter sessions but more frequently throughout the day, and I went through like my entire freezer stash trying to keep up with it. And I guess that should have been like a big clue, like hello, like it's dipping for a reason. And I struggled with it emotionally, I'm not gonna lie. I cried about it so much because I was just like, I cannot believe this is happening to me again. Like, what am I doing wrong? Like, you know, like I want to continue to nurse him, and it's just an emotional attachment when it comes to nursing. Like if you're nursing your baby, you know how deep that connection is, and just like that bonding. And he just, I don't know if he like tasted it different or whatever it was, he was just like, something is off. And I cried about it so many times, like, and I just wasn't ready for it. It's not like it was my choice, and I was like, okay, like I'm ready to emotionally let go of that. I think it is a big deal, especially if your baby is young. So now, once we went through the entire freezer stash, I started supplementing with formula. So now he's doing both. I'm still nursing him because I still want to make sure that he's getting like those good like antibodies, or you know, just like the good stuff in milk, the golden liquid. So I want to make sure that he's still getting that, and then also of course I want to make sure that he's fed, so we are supplementing with formula. And it's been helpful because Ricardo can now give him a bottle and I can like go and do other stuff, but I still feel really emotionally attached to it. So I don't know how much longer it's going to last, and my goal is to at least do it until I'm like 8 months pregnant, and then try to wean him off, or he'll eventually wean himself off. That's what I've heard with things that I've read, like through La Leche League, or like credible resources like that. But I also noticed that I would eat a lot more often, like a lot. That was one of the big clues that gave Ricardo the idea that I was pregnant. He was like, Belinda, you're eating a lot. Like, he said that I was out eating him like 3 times over. And it's true. But you know what? I was happy. I was like, I have my sweet baby who I get to play with all day. And, you know, like, I just want to eat. And I feel good about it. I don't feel guilty at all. Like, and I balance things out really well. So I would like make my smoothies, and then I would eat my fruit, and then I would be like, you know what sounds good? This sounds good. And my cravings have been all over the place. All over the place. I don't want just salty. I don't want just sweet. I don't want just like, you know, certain things. I want it all. And that has been so weird with Benji. I don't know why. I wanted apples and oranges and green smoothies. It was all healthy things. And I think that's why I was really fit during my pregnancy, and I would drink water all the time. And now I'm still constantly thirsty. That's never stopped. But now I just want everything. I want popcorn. It's so weird. So I always have popcorn stacked. I also always want something sweet at night, like cereal. Cereals have been my cravings too. So lately it's been Fruity Pebbles, and oh my goodness, like I'm in heaven whenever I eat Fruity Pebbles. I've also been loving Munster donuts. They're like these really delicious fluffy donuts with like the most perfect glaze on top. Oh my god, listen to me. Like I'm getting so excited, and Ricardo will go out and get them for me. And also coffee just because I'm tired. Just as a mom, you're tired all the time. So coffee has been really good. Those have been my cravings. And then sometimes I just randomly want some strange thing. I also love hot Cheetos with lemon, Valentina. Oh, that is so good. Still being active, like I'm still working out. Like just let me live my best life, okay? Like, I had a baby not too long ago. I'm still breastfeeding. Like, let me just eat what I want. And I'm still being active, and I'm balancing things out because I still drink like my celery juice. I still like make sure to eat like all my fruits and my vegetables, and I'm just consuming more calories than I should. So once I found out that I was pregnant, a lot of things made sense. As you can see, all of the signs were there. I just didn't catch any of them. And it's been so wonderful. I still can't believe that I'm pregnant. To be honest, I forget half the day that I'm pregnant. Like, I completely just forget because I'm taking care of Benji. And then I'm like, oh shoot, I'm pregnant. Or like, I'll walk by the mirror and I'm like, I'm pregnant. Like, I forgot. It's gonna be so much fun. I can't wait. They're going to be so close in age. They're gonna be 3 days apart if I deliver on my due date, which never really happens, but they are going to be very close in age. This pregnancy has been different, and I am looking forward to when I don't feel as nauseous or as sick before I hit the 3rd trimester, and then it gets really hard where I could just be like in the honeymoon stage of being pregnant. But let me show you guys a quick bump shot. I showed a lot earlier in this pregnancy, and I didn't realize how fast you could really show. Look at that bump. Look at that belly. I am so excited. Benji's going to have a siblings to like grow up with and just be best friends with, and I'm so looking forward to it. So that is all for today's video, and I will talk to you guys next time. Muchos besos. Mwah.